Hi, my name is Christina Ingram. I'm a mental health clinician with the Edmonton Oliver Primary Care Network. And this is my colleague Tammy, who will introduce herself.
I'm Tammy Van Petigan. I'm also a mental health clinician here, and my background is social work.
Okay. Today we're going to talk to you about Mental Wellness 101, and I'm just going to share my screen now so that you can see our presentation. So the Mental Wellness 101 is designed to be a workshop that is offered to begin building a basic understanding of mental illness, but more so about mental wellness, which is optimal mental health. It can be taken as an initial step for accessing mental health services at the Edmonton Oliver Primary Care Network and to help you on your mental health journey, or you may have happened to come across this video well on our website. Either way, I hope you enjoy it and thank you for taking the time to view this today. So today we are going to define mental wellness and self-care. We're also going to explore what mental wellness is, including the dimensions, which will highlight some strategies to increase mental wellness in all areas. And then we will also discuss what to expect from counseling and other resources through the Edmonton Oliver Primary Care Network and the community.
Okay. So mental illnesses are characterized by alterations in thinking, mood, or behavior associated with significant distress and impaired functioning. So mental illness arises from a complex interaction of genetic, biological, personality, and environmental factors. Mental illness can affect people from all ages, education levels, income levels, and cultures. And there are some specific risk factors. Certainly, if you have a family history of mental illness, that can be a risk factor. Your age, your gender. Usually we find that more women are subject to depression. Also, substance abuse can contribute to mental health difficulties, chronic diseases, any kind of family, workplace, life event stresses. And some diagnoses include social anxiety disorder, major depression disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, and that's just a few of the things that a person could be diagnosed with. If you are experiencing a mental illness, you're not alone. By the age of 40, 50% of all Canadians will have or will have had a mental illness in their life. So if you or someone you know has a mental illness, there is good news. Mental illnesses can be treated. Help can make a difference for 80% of people affected, allowing them to get back to their regular activities.
So with all this, we need to take care of ourselves. This is not just hygiene tasks or eating right, working out, and getting a good night rest. It is about taking care of ourselves in all aspects of our life. Self-care is taking time to pay attention to you in a way that ensures that you are being cared for by yourself and cared for as much as can be. So we like to sometimes think about this in the sense of a battery. So thinking about how charged is your battery. The less charged it is, the less you are able to give to others, yourself, and other areas of life. The more charged it is, the more you have energy and motivation for others and yourself and to give to it in all areas. So as we go through this presentation, just reflect on how charged your battery is. Are you in the red or are you hitting the yellow or green?
So mental health is not just the absence of mental illness, it's also about optional functioning and thriving in many areas of our life, including physical health, emotional health, occupational pursuits, a sense of spirituality or greater purpose in life, social connections with others, and creative and intellectual endeavors. And please note that there is a handout available on the website if you would like to download this. Wellness is a conscious, self-directed, proactive, evolving, and continuous process of achieving full potential. So it is our personal responsibility. And not doing well in one dimension can impact other dimensions. So for instance, if you are going through a period of poor sleep, you probably notice that it impacts your work, your relationship with others, and just how you feel generally. So we'll go now through each individual area to define them and to provide strategies and ideas to improve wellness in that area. And we suggest you try to work on one thing we go over from today, because taking on too much can be overwhelming, even if it is good for us.
So our first dimension is physical wellness. This includes physical exercise, eating habits and nutrition, sleep routine, medication safety, preventative medical, and substance abuse. So many ways, of course, to achieve wellness in this area is engaging in sports, engaging in some exercise, eating fresh and healthy foods, regular meal times, sleep hygiene strategies, so setting a regular bedtime and bedtime routine. Our brains need enough sleep to really function, and sleep is very pivotal to, as Tammy highlighted, to many areas of our life and can affect us in many areas. Medication safety, so making sure that medications are stored properly, throwing out anything that's expired, using them properly. If a medical alert bracelet is required, then ensuring that you're wearing that on a regular basis. Preventative medicine, includes things like annual doctor's appointments, dentists, optometrists, just those regular appointments. Limiting any alcohol or drugs consumed. This could also include coffee. It is a stimulant, so can increase anxiety symptoms or affect our sleep if we're having it too late in the evening. But really listening to our body and its warning signs.
Another aspect of wellness that we don't often think about is intellectual wellness. So developing personal interests and hobbies, um, education, learning new things, brain exercise. So that would include things like reading books, magazines, newspapers, pursuing other interests, maybe taking an educational course. A lot of them are online, or perhaps at a local college, or community class like art, pottery, etc. A skills class, you might want to look at sign language, learning another language, maybe updating your computer skills. And even attending community events in arts, music, or culture, or other areas that intrigue you can also be a stimulus for our brain. And also looking at games for the brain, like websites, crossword puzzles, Sudoku, and having intellectual conversations with people around us can all be a ways of generating intellectual wellness.
Next, we'll talk about occupational wellness. So this is your choice in profession, hoping for job satisfaction, career ambitions, and personal performance are all important components of this dimension of wellness. If you are not employed, this can also include finding ways to give back to the community, volunteering, and such can also be very helpful. Research has shown that people thriving in occupational wellness are twice as likely to be thriving overall. Whereas if someone is disengaged from work, they're more likely to have negative mental health as well. So such thing as depression or anxiety. So ways to increase occupational well-being: choosing a career that matches with personal values, beliefs, and interests, learning about your colleagues in order to work the best together, share ideas when something is not working well, find employment that incorporates things that you like to do, work that allows you to be flexible and have balance with other things that you like to do in life and to value, such as family, any interest into any intellectual wellness activities, such as Tammy had shared previously. But self-evaluating where time is spent, ensuring time for things that you enjoy. Also creating goals at work and being engaged in areas that you enjoy to feel a sense of accomplishment can all be ways to increase occupational well-being.
Spiritual wellness. What spiritual wellness means is a willingness to seek meaning and purpose in human existence, regardless of your religious beliefs. So, ways to increase spiritual well being is through prayer, perhaps even sitting quietly, doing some deep breathing, going to church, other community organizations or groups that are dedicated to exploring the purpose of human existence, taking part in certain rituals and ceremonies like baptism, etc. And reading about spirituality, that can be helpful, just learning and thinking about what we believe and how it impacts our life. Observing and appreciating the beauty of your surroundings and beginning to learn the value of things you cannot understand. Okay. And our actions are guided by our beliefs. And so knowing what your beliefs are and expanding them can be helpful in um, directing our behavior. Meditation, taking time to be peaceful and reflect, taking time to think about what your values and beliefs are, and practice living in line with these. Learning about others to increase compassion and understanding for others, learning about other beliefs and other spiritual practices, and sharing your beliefs and values in a respectful and open manner with others can contribute to our spiritual wellness.
We'll now look at social wellness. So this is about community, social time, and meeting new people. So ways to increase social well-being is seek ways to enhance relationships through better communication and encouraging a healthy living environment. Better to live in harmony than in conflict with others. So just really striving for communication with partners and being open and honest with each other. Other ways through support groups, special interest or hobby groups, calling, connecting with others. We've learned many other ways through Zoom and FaceTime, many different ways to connect with others, attend local events, join meetup groups, have regular scheduled get-togethers. So it's not something that gets put off to the back burner when there's lots of other things going on. And calendar of events, so ensuring that there is some quality time with loved ones and friends as well.
Emotional wellness is another aspect of mental health. So when we think about emotional wellness, we want to think about the ability to acknowledge and accept a wide range of feelings in oneself as well as in others. It's important to be able to freely express and manage one's own feelings. Developing positive self-esteem in order to arrive at personal decisions based upon one's attitudes and behaviors. And also included in this is the ability to realistically evaluate your limitations and effectively cope with stress. So ways to increase your emotional well-being can include reflecting each day on your emotions, what they can teach you, and how you can express them in a healthy way. Consider using a journal to record feelings and thoughts. Consider developing regular habits that help you process and deal with your feelings effectively so you move forward in fulfilling your emotional needs. This can include CBT techniques, and we're going to talk about this a little more in a further slide. Also finding a place where you feel most comfortable and going there when you feel a need for comfort, quiet space, or safety. Okay? So stress can certainly affect us emotionally. When we're stressed, we have all kinds of emotions come up. Sometimes we're not sure how to deal with them. One thing we can do is take a step back when we're in a stressful situation, try and look at the situation in an objective manner, using relaxation techniques, practicing deep breathing, and trying out different coping exercises or strategies when not in a stressful situation. So when challenges arise, you'll be better prepared to deal with them. So know your baseline. Know what it is that gets you triggered, which triggers emotions that you find really uncomfortable. And practice finding positives, so that silver lining in something you feel is negative. And support others in doing this as well. If you have struggling with emotion and you don't feel that you express it well, or you don't not sure what to do with those overwhelming feelings, then seek out professional mental health support. And we encourage you to try some of the strategies that we're covering today, while you wait for services at the EOPCN.
So Tammy had mentioned CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy. It is one of a very long-standing and well-researched modality that many therapists use. And essentially what it outlines here is that our thoughts affect how we act and feel, how our emotions affect how we think and what we do, and also how our behaviors affect what we think and what we feel. So that our thought, emotion, behaviors really affect each other and the overall situation. So a cognitive behavioral therapy therapist will work with you to focus on challenging and changing unhelpful assumptions and beliefs, replace these unhelpful assumptions and beliefs with more helpful and balanced thoughts, improve emotion regulation, and develop personal coping strategies that target solving current problems. One of the initial ways that a CBT therapist would help you out is by, of course, explaining this to you, but furthermore, talking to you about the 3 C's, or a variation of this. So essentially what it says, using these 3 C's, we can challenge our unhelpful thinking, with the 3 C's being catching it, changing it, and changing. Catching it and then changing it. So catch and identify the thought that is leading to the emotion. And then we want to check it. So how accurate and helpful is the thought that you're having that's leading to that emotion? And then finally changing it. So if you go through the process and reflect on, this thought is not accurate and it's not helpful to me, changing it to a thought that is more accurate or more helpful for you if needed. It takes a lot of practice to master this intervention, or the 3 C's. Our thoughts happen so quickly for us that we don't necessarily recognize that they're there, and then we can get into them. So it does take a lot of practice to get through this. But you want to work on catching your thoughts, usually the first automatic one that comes to your mind. So when you notice your mood shifting, worsening, ask yourself, what is going through my mind right now? For example, let's say I was walking down the street and I waved at my friend and they did not wave back at me. Let's say my thought was, my friend must be mad at me. Then you'll want to check to see how accurate that thought is and ask yourself a question. What is the evidence to support that thought? What is the evidence against the thought? Going back to the example, do you really have any evidence that your friend is mad at you? Maybe they didn't see you. Could be it. And you just had, last time you spoke, you had a really good conversation, so there wouldn't be any reason to be mad at you. So really looking at what evidence do you have that they would be mad. Then ultimately you would work on changing that thought to a more rational, accurate one. And so the thought after might be, well, my friend they just didn't see me. So they're not mad at me. They just, were listening to their music or going on their way and didn't see me waving. And how that changing to that last thought, how your feelings could be different of, oh, well, they didn't see me, so I can just move on with this, versus, oh, my friend's mad at me, and the worry and the upset that can then create. So that shifting of the thought can really help our emotional health.
Okay.
Now we'll just flip to what is counseling.
All right. So when we look at counseling, people who haven't been to counseling can sometimes feel kind of anxious about that, which would be totally normal. We think of counseling as a direct face-to-face conversation between two people, one being a therapist. It offers you a safe place to share your troubles, safe in terms of confidentiality. The therapist tries to listen to your story without judgment. There are legal and ethical bounds to confidentiality, so that the therapist will need to report if they feel that you're at risk of harming yourself or someone else. And also any notes that we have could, if they were ever to be subpoenaed by the courts, we would have to release those notes to them. Okay. The therapist is also going to ask you questions to help you gain some new perspectives or insights into your situation and help you teach you new skills to help cope with or improve your situation. For example, as Christina said, using cognitive behavioral therapy skills to help you explore your thoughts and how they're impacting your behavior and your feelings. Another intervention might be if you're quite anxious, then we're going to want to practice deep breathing with you and direct you to resources that can help with that. And we help you navigate change because change is always difficult. We look forward to change in the sense of that we're hopeful that the situation will be better, but at the same time, we know that change can be challenging. We offer 6 sessions right now at the Edmonton Oliver PCN. And after that time, if we feel that you still need more help, then we're going to connect you with other supports in the community. Counseling also allows you to be you. And so counseling is quite beneficial that way. So for counseling at the Edmonton Oliver Primary Care Network, you will need a referral from a doctor who is enrolled with the Edmonton Oliver PCN. You'll be asked to sign an informed consent at the beginning of the initial session, which talks about important information. Getting to know you, so we'll be talking about the presenting problem, your history, relationships, social supports, mental and physical symptoms, and more. And we try and go at your own pace. There's no judgment. We want you to be relaxed. We want you to feel comfortable and secure. And we want to offer therapeutic rapport. We'll do our best to make sure that you feel comfortable and feel safe and that you feel heard. And what we're also looking at is goals. So the therapist is going to help you come up with goals that cover what you're looking to get out of your experience. So the plan for the 6 sessions is that a plan will be created. We will have a definite goal in mind. You will be assigned homework. And we want to make sure that you get everything you need for your therapeutic journey. Therefore, some of the policies of the primary care network is if you have a late cancellation or you do not show up for 2 appointments, then you will be asked to get another referral from your doctor.
We also offer therapeutic groups and psychoeducational workshops. So group therapy is a form of psychosocial treatment where a small group of patients, which is approximately 15 participants, meet regularly to communicate and explore problems with each other and the group leader. Our programs often have a therapist and a co-therapist as well, in offering a safe, confidential environment. Our psychoeducational workshops are either standalone or a series of sessions offering information and strategies to help you with the topic that's being presented on. Please refer back to our website for an updated list of what therapeutic groups and workshops that we are currently offering, which the link is noted on the page here, but it would also be relatively close to where you found this video as well. So yeah, just take a look at what other options that we're currently offering.
Okay. We know that there's often a wait to get into the primary care network counseling service. And so we want to give you information on 24-hour services. If you're in immediate danger of hurting yourself, you feel that somebody else is in danger of hurting themselves, please call 911. That's the emergency line, and to get immediate help. There's also the distress line. So if you're feeling kind of off and you're not sure who to talk to, but you'd like to talk to somebody right away, you might want to call them. And the numbers listed here, this is operated through the Canadian Mental Health Association. There's also Alberta Health Services Access 24/7. So that's the addiction and mental health services. Their number is listed here, and they are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There is a Children's Mental Health Crisis Line. There's a First Nations and Inuit Hope for Wellness helpline. We want to think about also physical support. So if you are in financial difficulties, we want you to call the emergency income support. There's the child abuse hotline, 211, excellent information and referral line, and you can also access it online. And then there's 811, the Alberta Health Link. So if you're having any kind of physical problems, if you're worried about whether or not you should be going in to see the doctor or going to emerge for physical problems, then you can call 811.
There's some other great community mental health resources as well that you may be able to access on a non-urgent basis. So there is the Alberta Health Services intake services for child and adolescent. This would be one of the referral routes into CASA, which is Child, Adolescent, and Family Mental Health Services. If you have a First Nations status, then there is the non-insured health benefits available through the Government of Canada. Alberta Health Services Access 24/7 is urgent services, but it also is more long-term, and all of the Alberta Health mental health and addiction services programs you can access through that one single access point. Drop-in YAG and Momentum walk-in counseling are single session walk-in options as well. Edmonton Mennonite Center for Newcomers has some therapy options. Sexual Assault Center of Edmonton. Educational Psychology Department of U of A has assessment and therapy options. However, they are only through the school year. So being from September to, I believe it's the university school year until April. So a shorter access time there. And then there's also lots of community counseling agencies that will offer long-term counseling on a sliding fee scale option. So the sliding fee scale options are they will ask you your total house income and maybe a couple of questions, as the various agencies have slightly different policies on how they gauge it, but mostly based on income, and that will determine your fee for service.
Okay, so other resources in the community and e-resources. City of Edmonton has a family violence support group. The Sage Seniors Association does a fabulous job of communicating with seniors and offering programs. There's different apps that you can access on your laptop or your phone, Calm, Headspace, Mood Gym, Mood Tools, and actually if you put your symptom into the App Store search box, you're going to come up with lots of free tools that can help you out. There's also the Center for Clinical Interventions. They have free CBT-based workbooks, worksheets, and there's the Mindful Institute. It has meditation groups. You can find them in the city. And also Anxiety Canada is a good website. It has various helps for anxiety as well as videos that you can look at. And 211 again has resource lists that can be very helpful in dealing with some of the mental health issues we've been talking about today. Okay, so we want you to know that mental illness is a common health concern and that all mental health concerns can be treated. So self-care is very important to your overall health and well-being and ensuring your battery is fully charged. Doing these things is going to help you with your mental wellness, okay? And striving for optimal wellness in all your dimensions of life can lead to an improved sense of wellness overall. We want you to take time to relax and ground yourself in when you are practicing correctly identifying your feelings and the associated thoughts that go with that. That can improve your emotional health. And resources at the Edmonton Oliver Primary Care Network and in the community exist to support you through your mental wellness journey.
So that concludes our video today. If you would like, please pause the video here and take a quick snapshot of this screen, congratulating on you completing the Edmonton Oliver Primary Care Network's Mental Wellness 101 webinar. Otherwise, thank you very much furthermore, please refer back to the site and the page that you found this video for more information about our mental health services, and any additional resource or survey link may be posted there as well. If you have more questions, please feel free to call the Edmonton Oliver Primary Care Network, which the phone number can be found on our website as well. So finally, Tammy and myself would like to thank you all for taking the time today to view our mental wellness video. And we wish you the best of luck on your mental health journey and mental wellness journey.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today.